So one of the comments that I receive a lot during lessons is how come I can hit my pitching wedge up to my 7-iron a good distance, comparable almost to pros, but then it starts to fade away from 6-iron, 5-iron, 4-iron, and even, between the hybrids, fairway woods and driver, there's not much difference in terms of the gapping. And the reality to this is very much club head speed. So when you are producing the club head speed, if this video is relatable for you, when you're using a club like a pitching wedge or a 7-iron, you have enough loft on the face. And because you have enough loft on the face, this means that you can get the ball launching up in the air and producing enough backspin. However, when you start taking that loft away, what's going to start to happen is that if you're not producing enough club head speed, you're not going to produce enough spin, and basically your 5-iron is going to carry a similar distance to your 7-iron, and it's obviously going to make you more inconsistent. So the bigger question is, how are you going to get club head speed? And I wouldn't necessarily suggest you have to doing loads of step drills and trying to swing as fast as you can. One of the things that I notice a lot with students is that they need a bit of a reminder of a term which is known as swing direction. So in golf, we have this understanding of club path, and club path is basically the measurement at the very bottom part of the golf swing. And we have swing plane, right? So, if I drew a line here, we know that we're supposed to swing the club around the side of our body. But what we mean by swing direction is how are you really moving the club? And one of the analogies that I use a lot for students of mine is that if you imagine that you were set up to this golf ball and you were going down towards your target, and opposite the golf ball, literally within almost touching distance of the toe of the club, there was a wall, okay? And this wall would be opposite you and it would carry on all the way down next to your target. And the point that I raise with a lot of students of mine is if you are swinging that club in that direction towards the wall, you are going to have to slow down and you're going to have to make compensatory movements in your golf swing. So for example, people go with things like a 4-iron, right? The club gets, or a 5-iron, the club gets longer. And if you start swinging this way, can you see the way that my club is now swinging too much in this direction? And what this now means is that I'm going to have to flip at it. Or I'll start to move this way and I'll swing across it. And in recent videos that I've been putting onto the channel, I've been talking a lot about this first movement. And what we notice with the professional golfers is the way that they try and get their hands and arms as connected to the body and get the club head travelling in as straight a line as possible. And doing this is basically, if you imagine I was to swing this club back like so, can you see the way I can swing it back and I'm able to drop that club down on the ball without it hitting the wall? And you carry that on through. So the feeling is that you're trying to take the club straighter back as you turn. And if you do this, what you'll start to notice is a few things. If you kind of go straight back and turn, or if you like that feeling of the club head going up the wall, you're going to start to introduce more lift and more leverage. And more lift and more leverage is going to lend itself to more club head speed. But not only that, once you start getting more lift and leverage, what you're also going to be able to do is swing down without swinging in the direction towards the wall, and you're going to be able to start swinging naturally more across the ball. And that's why I do a lot with rope trainers, because I think rope trainers give you that similar feel of not this way and kind of this way. It's a big swing. And what I mean by big swing is it's a straighter swing than you realise. You've got to really make sure you're taking that club straighter back as you turn, and then you'll notice the way you're able to drop it down and you'll produce more club head speed, but you're producing club head speed by directing the club correctly. So think about the wall analogy. Make sure you're taking that club straight back as you start to turn your body. And what you'll start to notice is the way that you'll be able to produce more of a lift. And when we look at the pros, we always notice the way that they lift that lead arm slightly higher than that shoulder line. And the reason for that is it helps them produce speed. They can pull their arms down, swing through without swinging in the direction towards the wall. And that's exactly what you guys need to do to make sure that you can start hitting those long irons just as good as those wedges to 7. See you soon.